What's going on, IG? Gamal Kadner here, and this lesson is on the most important thing you need to understand if you think that your Facebook ads aren't converting, they're not working. So if you've ever used these words, my ads don't work, they're not converting, or my favorite, I'm not getting any sales, we're gonna have a good conversation today about the most important concept you need to familiarize yourself with, and that is throughput. I first learned about this word at my time at my tech accelerator. It's a tech word, and it essentially means the difference between how much you put into something versus what comes out on the other end. So in the context of Facebook ads, this is what you need to pay attention to. So first and foremost, if you think this, that is absolutely not true. I'm here to tell you that they absolutely 100% always work. I know that's a bold statement, especially if you're sitting there looking at your ad dashboard losing money, but stay tuned, let me explain. So when ads don't work, all you're saying is that you start on ads and nothing comes out at the end. But what you need to realize is that there are multiple breakdowns along the way of your ad funnel. So you start with some ads. Let's say 100 people get to your landing page, 20 people like your product, add it to cart, 15 of those start a checkout, and 10 people make sales, you make money. If you say your ad doesn't work, that just means this is zero. But to understand how this works in a real life way, I'm gonna share a story with you of something that just happened to me where I thought something wasn't working, but it was really just throughput that was the real big issue. So we were having issues with our dishwasher. No matter what we did, out of nowhere, this thing just stopped working. We'd let it run for hours and the dishes would just always be dirty. And for those of you who don't know me well, may not realize this, but I actually don't enjoy fixing dishwashers in my spare time. So I called the company and told them what was going on. Hey, all this water's settling, like the dishes are dirty. What the hell's going on? And they were like, yeah, man, I think your entire base is screwed. We need to order hundreds of dollars worth of parts and it'll take a week to get there. I'm like, sure, go ahead. We tried everything. Let's just do it. And why? Because we hate washing dishes. Of course, spend the hundreds of dollars. So in this example, I found myself being like all these people who I see in the world saying Facebook ads don't work, right? I've tried it, but once again, I don't enjoy doing this and it's not my area of expertise. What happens next is pretty interesting. So it took about a week to get here and a tech brought it all out and he was like, what's going on? And we explained it to him. And he was like, all right, this is a couple hours worth of work, but before we do all of this, you mind if I just check something? And I'm like, hey buddy, knock yourself out. We didn't try everything. This thing does not work. Let's just start with the repair, but go ahead, knock yourself out. Mind you, he's been doing this for like 10 years. My man opened up the door, slid this thing back, and realized there was a spoon right there. Took this spoon up, hit start, and the damn thing started working. Fixed it in 5 seconds. A freaking spoon. Hundreds of dollars of stuff that we ordered. The whole time it was just a spoon. Now you might be wondering, what the hell does your dishwasher and a spoon have to do with my ads? It's the exact same thing. Let me explain it to you. So when you say your ads don't work, that's not entirely true. That just means more than likely one component of your ad campaign isn't working. So in my dishwasher, there was a spoon that was blocking some kind of sensor right at the end that initially enabled the washer to go in final mode that would allow the final part of the washing machine to work and we would get an end result. And so in our example, we got no end result. So we thought the entire thing was broken. But in e-commerce, these are the main kind of hinges that I find people having issues. So when you say your actual ad campaign isn't working, you're not getting any sales, any one of these pivot points or these critical points in your ad campaign could be the issue, where if you fix one of them, it just opens up the floodgate and everything flows down into sales. By the way, you should definitely get a money tree in your office. Makes everything better. So let me break down exactly what just happened. So I, with no experience, was trying to diagnose this entire thing and I was completely wrong. And an expert came in and within 5 seconds of diagnosing what the issue was, they fixed it. And I potentially wasted hundreds of dollars on trying to fix this thing. He just came in and saw something so small that made a big difference and opened up the floodgates for my throughput for my dishwasher to work, right? And that's the same thing that's been happening recently with 2 people that I spoke to this past week. One specific example, a student, they spent about $100 on ads and got no sales. Oh man, this thing doesn't work, right? So when we broke down the data and looked at all the different pivot points, we realized that she had about $1,100 or so worth of product added to her cart, but nothing was converting, right? Strange. The ad campaign isn't broken. There's just something that's going on that's not allowing those $1,100 to convert. Example number two, very similar story. Someone had a lot of potential, nothing worked. And so when we looked at the data and looked at all the different pivot points, we realized that in this example, their checkout process was horrible. People were like mandated to create an account. You could like upload a profile picture, like all sorts of crap before you could actually buy the product. And so very quickly, we were able to diagnose what was going on and give some suggestions to possibly improve that, right? So if you have said this, it's probably because of this. And if you don't know where that blockage is because you are not an expert, find an expert. By the way, that's me. I'm the expert you should find. I can quickly help you figure out where the opportunities are for your not converting campaign to start converting and giving you more sales. After years of doing this and over $1 million spent on Facebook ads, trust me, ads work. We just need to figure out what's stopping your ads from working, right? There's very few industries or products where you can't get ads to work. You're just probably having some stoppage somewhere. So hit me up and I'll be sure to kind of help guide you in the right direction.